Well, so I'm not going to be working on any mowers today. I'm going to be working on this. Probably that too. I'm just going to give it a good once over, disassemble it because the gas tank's leaking a little bit. This is a 4-stroke weed whacker. As you guys can see, I got a brand new carburetor for it. So we're going to have a little bit of fun with it. But go ahead and get this thing removed out of the car and we'll see what kind of trouble we can get into. One thing I gotta say about weed eaters is I love their form factor. It's just so much easier to deal with them and handle them than it is so many other different things. I do need to trim this line here to size, but I'll worry about that in a bit. It's just not wanting to work. It's not wanting to draw fuel. And it was like that even before I replaced this line. I did get this thing to run off the bottle, but just obviously just briefly. So I do know it runs, I do know it has spark, and these 4-stroke weed eaters are just really handy because they take regular gas. You don't have to do any mixing. So it's always a good idea to look over whatever part you're going to put on, make sure everything matches up. And it does appear to be the same exact carburetor. You just remove these 2 screws right here, take the hoses off, and then I'm going to go ahead and take this breather line off. And the last part I'll remove is the part for the trigger. So as you can see, the throttle cable is just a little hook. Just move it around a little bit and it'll come right off. So, total of 5 screws. Those 2 self-tapping ones go up here, there, and there. So now there's just another part where the gas tank is actually kind of snapped in place. So you just go ahead and move it back a little bit. Go ahead and finish pulling this one out. As I drop the gas tank, and then you have these little plugs. We'll go ahead and stick that back in that one right there. So now this whole part should just come right off. We'll set this aside as well. So that just snaps into place, and that part right there, you just get 2 small-sized picks or screwdrivers and just kind of poke them through and pop it out. Not all that difficult. So now we can go ahead and remove our heat shield. This thing looks delicate, so I'm going to do my best not to screw it up. So the carburetor's been put back on. Unfortunately, because these screws are actually seized into the cylinder head, I didn't remove it. So hopefully it's not going to be that big of a deal. It's kind of irritating, but that's what happens when people leave their equipment outside. Even here in California, it doesn't do a good number on it. I was trying to take the rocker cover off for the valves to look at the valves, but this damn screw is seized in place. And if I try and mess with it anymore, it's going to break. I mean, I can try and put some penetrating oil onto it and see what that does, but I don't think it'll end up doing anything. So what I'll go ahead and do now, though, is throw the gas tank back on and then kind of start putting it back together. Because I do want to see if this thing will even run before I start getting into other things like that. Is on the intake, these 2 bolts that are going through it, there appears to be a couple nuts that are on the inside. If you look down below at this one, you can see it's kind of hexagonal shaped, like a nut is. So that's what keeps the nuts in place. So when you screw those 2 screws back in, you kind of want to start it first by not putting any force on the heads of the screws, but you just kind of want to screw it in, let the threads catch, and then kind of pull out as you're screwing it in, so to speak. Because if you lose those nuts and they go to the end, you're going to have a really hard time putting them back on there if you're in the same situation I am in with these seized screws. So just wanted to throw that out there just in case any of you came across that. So now, as you guys can see, I've got pretty much everything back on here. I'm going to go ahead and throw the gas tank back on. And so it's got a brand new carburetor on it. The old one was really messed up, and rerouted the fuel lines properly. So let's go ahead and see if she'll give us a start. Go ahead and prime it. All the air's out of the lines. Gas tank feels a little loose. I don't know if it's in all the way or not, but reassess that when we're done. Go ahead and start at full choke. Throttle works. Oh, there's a pop. I love it. Idles perfectly now. Not bad. I love these 4-stroke weed eaters just because of how quiet they are. I'll be happy with that. Now I'm just going to check the oil level. Probably should have done that before, but oh well. So let's go ahead and pull our oil plug out. See where the level's at. Oh yeah, she's got oil in her. You're supposed to check it on a level surface, but that's good enough. I've already done that. And so I've got it completely off the choke now. Went over here and just gave it a quick test. Try and do it on camera, but really no guarantees on that. But she runs smooth. Balancing it on my elbow there. Happy with that. Not too bad. I don't even know how much these are selling for right now because I rarely even deal with weed eaters just because of and these are really the things that most people are going to buy brand new before they buy used, at least in my experience anyways. But I'll have to look it up and see what they're going for. But I just love when I fix things for free or next to free. A $14 carburetor is not a bad deal at all, boys. I forgot to even show you guys the model number, but that's the model number of it's a Bilt TB575 EC.